I'm joined by Jim Wyatt, so that means that it's time for Ask Jim. Jim, I have a lot of questions today. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, perfect. Let's get started. Andrew asks, what can Quarry Davis do to improve from week to week?
I think he just has to keep working. We can't forget this kid's just played in a couple of games so far in his rookie season. He didn't have any training camp or preseason to help him. He's made some mistakes, in recent games, the fumble in the end zone that resulted in the touchback. And then, he kind of blamed himself for some of the routes that he ran, in the Thursday night game against the Steelers. But he's young, he's learning, he's competitive, he's a tough guy, and I think he'll get through this.
Winston would like to know, how valuable have the days of rest been to this Titans team?
I think they've been helpful. I mean, as tough as it is to play in the Thursday game, the one benefit you have is you get a couple of extra days to recover. This team has 6 games left. I think getting an extra Saturday, Sunday off, after the Pittsburgh game helps. And it helps guys mentally, helps guys physically for the long haul.
Betty says, Marcus Mariota is quick to shoulder the blame when things don't go well for this Titans offense. Is that part of his job as a quarterback?
Well, not every quarterback does it. I mean, I've been around some that do it. Steve McNair, I always remember him taking all the blame, even when it wasn't his fault. I've been around some other quarterbacks and seen quarterbacks from afar who have not taken that approach. Marcus does a great job. I think he earned a lot of respect from guys in the locker room. I mean, he stood at the podium after the interceptions in Pittsburgh, said they're all on me. After the game, Mike Mularkey said that wasn't the case. Quarry Davis said that wasn't the case. But certainly very McNair-like in his responses to anytime something goes wrong.
Josh would like to know, great to see Klug get a sack last week. What makes him such a reliable player?
I think this is the fact that he's willing to work. And, when he had the Achilles injury last year, he worked, at a great pace to get him back as fast as possible. He still struggled through that, but he continued to grind and continued to work. And I talked to him recently. He said it was just a couple of weeks ago we started to feel the spring in his step after that Achilles injury. And guys respect the way he works, the way he plays on a regular basis.
Austin says, we always hear about division games and how important they are, but what is it that makes them extra important?
Well, it's huge because obviously a win moves you up. It moves the teams you're competing against back. It helps you in tiebreakers. Jacksonville, for instance, this is a team that the Titans are 1 game behind right now in the AFC South, but a win in Jacksonville coupled with a win in the season finale will give the Titans the AFC South title, as this team can do what it's supposed to do. You look back at last year, this team finished with the same record as the Texans, but lost a tiebreaker because of AFC South records.
Rachel would like to know, what can receivers do in practice to limit the amount of drops that we see during the game?
I think it's all about concentration. I mean, a couple of key drops recently, a Rashard Matthews drop against the Bengals, a Delaney Walker drop against the Steelers. Both those guys owned up to us. Said they just took their eyes off the ball, lost concentration for a minute. It's all about repetition. It's about making those catches in practice where you don't think about it as much in the game, but you still got to follow through when the game rolls around. And these guys will do it. I mean, it's not something you see from either one of those very often.
All right, Jim Wyatt, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Guys, if you have questions for Jim, use #TitansTakes on Twitter. I'll get those questions, and we'll ask Jim right here on Titans All Access.